Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week one in CE 155, Facility Layout and Design. Happy New Year to all, and I'll speak for Chef Suzanne and myself right now. We are so excited to have all of you with us on this journey. It's going to be fantastic. All of you are going to succeed. All of you are going to do very well in this class. Something important to point out about this class, regardless of what your intentions are in this career, at some point in time, you will be involved in some form or one way or another of facility layout and design, whether it be for your workstation or whether it be for an entire restaurant or a group of restaurants. You will be asked your opinion and have your input applied to the way your facility looks. So this is a very, very important class. Chef Suzanne and I are going to open your eyes to a lot of things that you haven't seen nor heard before over the next 6 weeks. And so Chef Suzanne and I are just overwhelmed with this opportunity to be able to share this information with all of you. Before we get going too much further, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Chef Warren Weeks. I worked my way up the ladder just like everyone else, but I have spent about the last 30 years as an executive chef, restaurant owner, or director of food and beverage in various parts throughout the world. I am currently in Tucson, Arizona with my lovely wife, who was Tucson Iron Chef for 3 years, and she's a very talented culinarian. And we share some incredible children together. And yes, they do cook. And yes, we do have raging parties with food. So we are very, very lucky about that. Personally, I've built and been involved in the development of about 7 different restaurants and or hotels. So it's something I really enjoy working with. And more importantly, I am really blessed to have such a great partner in this class. It doesn't always work that way, but I scored this time, and so did all of you, with Chef Suzanne Lasagna. Would you like to take a moment and introduce yourself?
I will. I know some of these folks. Some of them are new to me, so I'm pretty excited. I am Chef Suzanne Lasagna. I am in Texarkana, Texas. I also have a very talented chef spouse. My husband is also a chef. My oldest daughter is also a chef. My youngest loves to cook, so she's still in high school, though, so not sure what she's going to do with herself. I have also worked in lots of different parts of the industry. I've actually been teaching for about 10 years, teaching culinary education in some form or fashion. But I've also worked in country clubs and convention centers, restaurants. I've done fast food, fine dining. I've been a food and beverage director. I've been an executive chef. I've done dishes. I've done it all. So I've been involved in a lot of different parts of creating or remodeling kitchens over the years. Not to the extent that Chef Warren has, but I've definitely been involved in lots of different places. I think you're going to all be pleasantly surprised with this class. It's you're going to learn a lot more than you're probably thinking, and different things that will really benefit you forever. So this is a great class. I enjoy this one a lot. So looking forward to working with those of you I already know and meeting some new folks.
Yeah, thank you, Chef. That's awesome. And we're going to share a lot of experience with you over the next couple of weeks and a lot of practical information. So welcome aboard, everybody. Put your seatbelts on. It's going to be a lot of fun. For the next couple of minutes, we're going to give you a couple of keys to success to help you succeed in this class. Chef Suzanne and I are both committed to your success. If you can follow these couple of steps, you are going to fly. Step 1, it's very, very important that you communicate on a regular basis with us. It's very difficult for Chef Suzanne and I to reach out and help you when we don't know that you need help. Not all the assignments are that easy. So it's great. We are your resource to ask questions. Take advantage of us. If you have any assignment related questions or any class related concerns, make sure you reach out to me. My phone number is 520-276-6281. It's located on the right-hand side of the class page. And if you have any problems regarding your grade or the evaluation that you received, make sure you reach out and discuss that with Chef Lasagna. She'll be glad to work with you. She's fantastic. Her number is also located on the right-hand side of the class page. We know that you've always heard this before. In this class, we do a lot of stuff with Google Drive, Google Slides. So if you have any issues that are IT related or computer related, make sure you reach out to the folks at IT. Chef Suzanne and I are not the best people to ask IT related questions. So their phone number is 877-224-8576, and they will be more so than glad to walk you through it. And then if you have any questions about anything that I didn't mention, make sure you take advantage of our student support services. Your career coach, they are fantastic people, 877-224-8576. Utilize the resource. They are there. We are here to help you succeed. Take advantage of it. The next biggest thing, we all have very busy lives. We've got a lot going on. We have kids, we have jobs, we're moving into houses, we're moving out of houses. Sometimes we don't feel well and everything else. We have to keep this class a priority in your life. And I know that can be difficult, but Chef Suzanne will back me up. In the kitchen, we have a saying, and that saying is, failure is not an option, and we make it happen regardless of it. So limit drama. No drama. We've got too much on our plate, so we want to make sure that we keep that to the side. So we are here to help you succeed if you can keep that stuff out of the way. And also, it takes a little bit of self-discipline to succeed in this industry. Not a little bit, but a lot. You know, if you can start out by making sure that you're dedicating at least 15 minutes a day to this class, you have to realize there's 96 15-minute periods in a 24-hour day. And if you can make 15 minutes of one of those 96 15-minute periods, if you can give one to this class and make it a habit, you are on the road to success. So live it, make it happen. Before you submit any assignments in this class, make sure that you cross-check it against the assignment page. It's very, very critical, because what happens, the information goes from you to Chef Suzanne. Chef Suzanne looks at it, she sends it back and says, hey, you only have 50% of the information here. Chefs don't like to do things halfway. There's an old saying that chefs have, and we don't mind doing something once, but we hate having to do it twice. So, you know, I like that. Thanks, Elaine. You want to make sure that before you submit, just take a moment to go through, make sure that you've included all aspects of the assignment and that everything is properly in there. It's really going to help you out. It's a good habit to get into once you're in industry as well. Another issue that we all suffer from as human beings is we need to make sure that we do not procrastinate. Very critical. If the assignment opens up on Wednesday, get it done by Thursday. This way, Chef Suzanne can have a moment to look at it. She can get the information back to you, and you have plenty of time to make your corrections. You're successful. You've learned a lot, and it all works. Do not procrastinate. Trust me. This 6-week course, week 1 builds into week 2, week 2 builds into week 3, etc. And if you procrastinate, you're going to fall behind very quickly and things will become very difficult for you, and we don't want that. We want to see you succeed. So no procrastination. Those are the keys to success in this course. Chef Suzanne, do you have anything else to add to that?
Actually, I'm going to kind of piggyback on the fact that this class is a little different from most any that you've probably had, where when Chef says that the weeks build on each other, they literally do. So if you miss a week, it's sometimes hard to do the next week if you haven't done, say, you know, you can't, it's really hard to do week 4 if you haven't done, say, week 2, because they literally build one onto the other in this class. So it's a little different where each week is kind of its own individual entity. These build into, each assignment kind of builds onto another, which is a little different than you've seen before. So it can, if you think you're behind, you're even actually more behind, because to move forward, you got to go backwards, and that's a horrible system. Right. So stay on top of it in this class for sure.
Excellent, excellent. Well said. We have 6 weeks in this course, and if you miss week 3, you can't finish the other 3 weeks after that, right? So if you don't complete week 1, you can't do week 2. And if you don't do either one of those, obviously you can't do week 3. So one assignment builds into the next. So stay ahead of the curve, make your life easy. In the restaurant industry, we call it proaction before reaction. And we live and we die by that. So it's very, very important. And definitely the biggest key to success in this class is by making sure that you attend the live sessions. We understand that there are times when you cannot, which is acceptable, but just make sure that you do watch the live session archive. Chef Suzanne and I share a lot of information that are it's very applicable to these assignments, and you need to make sure that you get the info. So make sure that you are there. So any questions about that? Thoughts, concerns? Cool. Let's move on to our class page to make sure that we are all, figuratively speaking, on the same page. Can everybody see that? Am I golden? Am I up? Yeah? All right, everybody. So I hope everybody likes our new layout and look here at Escoffier. We are awfully fancy now. We have a new design to our pages. It seems a little bit awkward. Change is one of the most difficult things that we deal with as human beings, and that's the only thing that's consistent in life. So I was a little bit taken back by this yesterday when it happened. But after working with it for a little bit, I'm really starting to enjoy it. And I think it makes a lot more sense. So hats off to our IT folks. They've done a great job. On the right-hand side of the class page, you'll notice myself and Chef Suzanne with all of our contact information there. Take advantage of that resource. Make sure that everyone is watching these weekly intro videos. They were sent out via Moodle message, and they're also posted on the class page each week. Each week, these videos will contain a little bit of information that will help you succeed for that week. These videos are produced right here in Tucson, Arizona, and I think it's the only thing that Tucson, Arizona produces. Research materials for this class are very, very helpful. Make sure that you do take advantage of them. There are some questions in here that are answered that help you with attendance, so make sure that you do it. And then the live session, Thursday, 7 p.m. Thank you for being here. And then the discussion forum this week is your inspirations. Make sure that you have it submitted no later than Saturday at 11:59 p.m. and make sure you have your 2 responses in no later than Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. We've had several students that ran into some academic challenges because they ignored the discussion forums. Those points add up. And I know Chef Suzanne will probably have something to say about this, but the relationships that you are developing now in culinary schools through these discussion forums will last you for the remainder of your professional career, and oftentimes they go into your personal life as well. Isn't that right, Chef Suzanne?
Yes, I married one of my lab partners. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying it happened. I'm also very close with a lot.
We're not a dating site, but it does happen.
Yeah, right. I am still very close with a lot of people I went to school with, and that was even before social media. We've reconnected, but these connections with people that you go to school with, they are around forever, and they're great to be able to rely on for business needs and questions and things. So absolutely, like you were all talking before we started recording, that following each other on Instagram and things. So absolutely.
Yeah, I will get. Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you a little secret here. This country has 50 beautiful states. It's a gorgeous country, and I'm proud to be an American. But it is the smallest country in the world when it comes to the restaurant industry, because I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico a couple years ago, working behind the bar, helping out the bartenders. Turn around, and there's another guy from Tucson, Arizona that I used to work with. Hey. It is a small community. So the relationships that you develop now are powerful and they will last you. So work on them. You never know who you're going to be working next to. So definitely take advantage of the opportunity. Your discussion forum this week, you're going to find some images from the internet that will help us to understand what is inspiring you for your project. And then you can either create a link or preferably post them directly into the discussion forum so we can all take a look at them. Make sure that you do make your 2 responses no later than Tuesday. Initial response due no later than Saturday at 11:59 p.m. This week's assignment, right down here at the bottom of the class page, please, everybody note this, facility layout tool. You are going to need to open that and make a copy for yourself because that is what you will be working with for the next couple of weeks, okay? So you're gonna open this up and it's gonna say make a copy. You're gonna do yes, right? And then once that copy is made, that's where you're going to begin working and completing your assignments. And then the equipment station or equipment list and station map we'll get into here a little bit later this evening. And that is our week 1 class base. Does anybody have any questions about that? Thoughts, concerns? Yeah, cool. So.
Oh, we've got one hand up, Chef. Go ahead, Dan.
What's up, Dr. Dan?
Hey, Chef. Probably a simple question, but some time back, we actually did some research online of restaurants in the area with Google stars and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I actually took a job at the place that I researched because of the inspiration that it gave me for what I'm hoping to achieve in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that I can use for this assignment, or would you prefer I dig deeper and find something outside of that area?
I would like to see you, because I know you're a little bit more of a little bit you've got a lot of drive in this business, and I think it'd be fantastic for you and everybody else to take what's driving you and your inspiration, take that plus what we're going to teach you, and then apply it to this assignment.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. And I think you're gonna I think you're probably learning a lot where you're at, and I think you're gonna get a lot of new information from Chef Suzanne and I, and then apply those 2 things to your assignment, and you're gonna go through the roof.
I appreciate it. Believe it or not, I think I'm teaching them a few things.
Hey, the best way to learn is to teach.
This is true. Thank you, sir.
Is what they say. You know, before we move too much further, we're going to talk a little bit about kitchens and kitchen equipment, and having to select culinary equipment. It's radically different from what you do at home, and it's probably something that you have not been exposed to unless you've been in the industry for a little bit. There's some pretty staggering numbers out there. To open up a restaurant, the average cost in the United States is about $3,046 per seat, right? So if you have a 100-seat restaurant, that is a casual, very simple restaurant, you're talking right around $300,000 just to turn the key. If you want to build the restaurant from the ground up, you're conservatively talking about $4,000 per seat. So if you have a 200-seat restaurant, that's at least $800,000 to get the thing up and going. The reason we bring those numbers forth is to get you to understand the magnitude of the investment that is required to launch these restaurants. It's feasible. All of you can do it. You're very capable of doing it. However, the important thing is to research and understand exactly where that money is going. So before you can actually select any type of restaurant equipment, you have to have a very zeroed in concept. When we go to open up restaurants, we don't say, I need 2 deep fryers, 3 grills, 2 griddles, 4 reach-ins, and a burr mixer. We've zeroed in on our concept. We've created our menus. We've created our recipes. We know exactly which equipment that you're going to be utilizing. For example, the average kitchen in the United States right now is right around $275,000 to build. Okay, if for a lot of us, that's a lot of money. And if we do not spend it cautiously and creatively, we take a big risk at losing those monies. So we really need to understand exactly what we've got going on here. I want to take a look at some kitchens out there to start giving you guys some rough ideas. And this first kitchen is kind of frustrating. It's about one of my heroes, one of the guys that I look up to in the industry. His name is Thomas Keller. Thomas Keller has three 3 Michelin star restaurants in the United States. One is the French Laundry. The other one is Per Se in New York. And I've forgotten the other one. I think it's in Beverly Hills. He's also the first chef ever to coach the American team to the Bocuse d'Or, which is a very prestigious competition for us. It took the Americans 30 years just to win it. So he's a very talented chef. So let's take a look at his kitchen here. And this is his new state-of-the-art $10 million kitchen. Check this out. This kitchen operates a 60-seat restaurant. That's insane, isn't it? 60 seats coming out of this kitchen right here. But there's some really interesting things to take a look at that he's done. This is a new kitchen. I think it's about a year old. What he did is he took the old kitchen and put it inside a trailer workspace out back of the restaurant so they could continue to work while they were constructing this one. But if you look at it, everything is very effectively laid out. Right? Down here, there's coasters or casters on all the tables, so things can be moved and washed, right? People have plenty of space to work. The lighting is very, very efficient. The hood system up here, the system that runs along the ceiling, is what evacuates the air from a kitchen, which is very, very important. The cooks stand around what we call an island setup, which is a setup that I really like working at because you get a lot more face-to-face communication. So it is a gorgeous facility to work with. If you take a look here underneath all the counters, that's where his refrigeration is. Those are called low-boy refrigerators. The drawers actually pull open just like a regular cabinet, but it's actually refrigeration that's in there. So it is a beautiful state-of-the-art kitchen. Looking something that's a little bit closer to reality for most of us. Up here along the ceiling, this is called the hood system. Hood systems run anywhere between $1,000 and $2,000 per foot. So if you have a 20-foot hood, which is about what this is, that's about a $20,000 hood system. And up in here, there are filters. Kitchens have to have a way to exhaust all of the smoke and the grease and everything else going on in there. And that's what these units do. You'll notice there's vents right up here. Has anybody ever gone into a restaurant before? And you walk into the restaurant, you see the kitchen doors swinging open and closed, right? Or you open up the front door and the front door stays open when you open it, right? Kitchens have a system, it's called make-up air. So there's a huge evacuation of air coming out of the kitchen that's taking all the heat, grease, and smoke out. Well, when that happens, air has to come back in. So they have to have what's called a make-up air system. And a lot of restaurants, they get unbalanced with that system. And that's what creates those swinging of the kitchen doors or the front door. So, you know, that gets a little bit interesting. Some of the equipment taking place in here, we have a deep fryer. Most deep fryers are about 35-pound units. The oil is sold by the pound, and that's how we identify the size of the unit. And they have a broiler. Looks like they have a 6-burner stove down here. We traditionally don't, when we need a stove, I wouldn't look over at Chef Suzanne and say, hey, Chef Suzanne, can you get that off the stove for me? Because she's going to look at me and she's going to go, what stove? So we generally title our equipment. We have 6 burners, we have stock burners, we have 2 burners. So depending on the size of the stove, that's what we'll refer to it as. And then these stainless steel tables are extremely essential. You have to have plenty of space for your culinary staff to work. This is a prep area in a kitchen. And down here, they have convection ovens. Now, it's pretty important to note that in the restaurant industry, we primarily work, we have rational ovens now that are combi ovens and some other things, but there's 2 primary types of ovens in the kitchen. One is a conventional oven. And a conventional oven just has heat that comes from the bottom. It's probably something similar to what you work with at home. But most kitchens use what we call convection ovens. Convection ovens rotate the heat in the oven by using fans in the back. And that helps cook the food more evenly and can also help the food cook a little bit quicker. so they do take a little bit of experience working with them to understand exactly what is going on. Over here, on this other picture, in the very front area, you see all these plates stacked. This is what we refer to as being an expo station. Most likely the cooks are going to be on the line here in the back. They'll prepare the food. The food will go up into what this area right here, this is what we refer to as being the window in a kitchen. In this window, there's some heat lamps right up here. So the prepared food will be sat right here on this shelf. And then there'll be an individual working right here that will grab the food and give it to the servers on their tray. So for example, you know, we have the broiler cook putting up some dishes. We have the saute cook doing some dishes. We have the griddle guy. The expo person will coordinate all those dishes coming up and make sure that they go to the right place. And then this is another expo here. You see these tickets that are hanging up here? The way it works is that in the dining room, the servers traditionally work with what we call a POS system, or a point of sale system. It's a computer system that they'll input your orders. It'll print in the kitchen. And then the expo has a copy that he hangs up here. And then the cooks will have one on the other side as well. So they kind of control the flow of food in and out of the kitchen. Pantry or garde-manger area is an area that you'll be developing during this 6-week course. In the pantry is where we do our cold foods, or the garde-manger area. I know this word's spelled a little bit funky right here, garde-manger, but it's actually pronounced garde-manger. That refers to the cold preparation in the kitchen. And we work a lot with what we call pizza prep tables right here. And you'll see inserts of food. So they'll assemble the salads or the sandwiches or the desserts using a setup similar to this. And a prep area is going to be very, very important in your kitchen. This is a great prep area right here. They've got a combi oven. They've got a reach-in refrigerator is what this is. And then they have a 6-burner stove, a convection oven, plenty of space to work at, et cetera, et cetera. This picture up here, very, very critical. Chef Suzanne, how much space do we use in the kitchen? Is there
all of it?
Everything, right?
Everything.
Yeah, we use it top to bottom. So when you walk into a kitchen, you're going to see stuff hanging from the walls, stuff stacked on top of shelves, stuff on top of the walk-in. We pay rent on every square foot, so we utilize every square inch. And that's the way it goes. So you're going to see a lot of this in the restaurant industry, where you see walls, things hanging from the walls. It's very, very common. And it's also, the health department likes it because it allows equipment to air dry, which is very, very important. And the health department likes that versus towel drying things that come from your triple sinks. The dish area you guys are going to be working with a lot during this course, because you're going to have to develop one. Dish areas are heavily regulated by our local health departments because there's a big sanitation area. Generally, they're not the most luxurious part of a restaurant, but they need to be kept nice and clean. You'll generally have triple sinks. If you're not familiar with what triple sinks are, that's where we wash our pots and pans. That's where we wash, rinse, and sanitize. And then the storage racks, this isn't the best picture, but storage racks in the restaurants are actually wire racks. They're not solid units. We don't like that. We allow the air to flow up and through the shelves, cool the product evenly or dry the product evenly, and it prevents the mold and the moisture buildup as well. These are some dish machines. Does anybody have any idea how much a dish machine costs? A dishwasher, right? This corner unit right here, which is referred to as a CMA, it's a chemical manufacturing association that produces it. It's designed to fit into the corner of a dish area. It's very small. It's not very large. That unit runs right around $10,000. They're very expensive. It does a load of dishes every 60 seconds approximately, depending on your setting. So they work very quickly. This type of machine right here is what we refer to as a conveyor machine, meaning that you'll put a dish rack in here and then it'll pop out the other end. Some storage areas that we're going to be working with here. These are walk-in refrigeration units. You can have these for your refrigerator. If you open the door, a lot of times you'll go back in, you'll see another door, and that leads to the freezer. So one unit like this can be a refrigerator in the front and then the freezer in the back. Storerooms are very, very critical that we work with. A lot of air flows up through them, through these shoving units, which is very, very important. You'll notice that nothing in any of these pictures is stored on the ground. So when you're developing your restaurant, make sure you don't store anything on the ground. It's a general health code throughout the United States. Everything must be at least 6 inches up off the surface. Isn't that right, Chef Suzanne? No squatting on the ground.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of places use large dish racks. So in case of an emergency, a dish rack flipped upside down, the big ones are 6 inches tall.
Yeah, yeah. And you see a lot of milk crates in there as well. Yeah. So to take a look, just to kind of wrap this up, and just to give you some essential parts of the kitchen that you're going to be developing here. The hotline is where we prepare all of our entrees. That's our finishing area. We'll cook our steaks. We'll saute our seafood. We'll prepare our salads, our sandwiches. This is a great picture of a hotline right down here. That's where all the action is. That's where the heat, the sweat, the adrenaline, everything else is coming right out of this area right here. A prep area that we took a look at earlier. In restaurants, if we're serving braised short ribs, for example, we will braise the short ribs ahead of time, and when we get an order, we will heat them up on the hotline. Salad dressings will be made in the prep area, all that kind of good stuff. The dish area is another essential part, but any type of hot system up here requires a hood system. Hood systems in the United States, you'll see these pipes coming down right here. Hood systems, if you remove these filters right up here, will have a clip. When you take out those filters, they have a clip, and what's holding those clips together is a small piece that is put in there, and that small piece will melt according to the temperature that is pre-designated. They used to release a chemical called Ansel into the kitchen, which removes all of the oxygen and extinguishes the fire. That has now been coated out, so they don't build any new restaurants with Ansel now. We use what is called Halo, which is a similar type product. But if you're ever in a kitchen fire and things get out of control, those clips up in the hood area will melt. And when they melt, they release that chemical, and your kitchen instantly turns white and your nightmare begins. Yes. Have you ever been in one of those, Chef Suzanne?
I've not personally, but I've seen them. I've seen the after effects of an Ansel chaos.
Yeah, I've been in one before. When I opened up Fairmont Scottsdale Princess Resort, we had an expo kitchen, and the countertops only went up to about mid-chest level, and then the guests could see everything else that was going on. And brand new, it just opened up, 5-star resort, beautiful, but they had some very large pizza ovens up on the hotline, and they only installed 250-degree clips, and a pizza oven runs right around 700 degrees. And so they had a tour bus that pulled up, and the restaurant went haywire with these guests, and next thing you know, the Ansel system goes off, and it was a bad day. Bad day. Yeah. So let's go back and take a look at a couple more pieces of equipment, then we'll answer some questions before we talk about some other stuff. Refrigeration in the restaurant industry is a big issue. We use a lot of different refrigeration, from reach-in refrigerators to low boys that we discussed. Walk-in coolers are the most common thing depending on the size of your facility. We'll use one for refrigeration. We'll use one for a frozen unit as well. Deep fat fryer, as we talked about. This unit right here is called a salamander and goes up above your stove. The salamander is utilized for au gratin, to melt things and to finish off steaks and seafood, etc. Convection ovens, right here, like we discussed. And then these are what is referred to as deck ovens. Also pizza ovens for a lot of places, but these are deck ovens used in bakeries quite a bit. Mixers. These units can be quite large. This looks like a 40-quart mixer right here, and which actually requires wheels to move the bowl around, so they're good size. This is a 6 burner with a flat top, so big. Sinks you guys are going to be working with. I'll post this PowerPoint on the class page so you guys can refer back to this if that will help you out. Triple sinks, you're going to have one in your dish area. Chef Suzanne will go haywire if you have a triple sink in your prep area, because we do not wash dishes and wash vegetables in the same sink. Sacrilegious. The Pope will go nuts. Yeah. So we wash, we rinse, we sanitize. And then right in here, this is a hand sink. You guys will be required on this during this course to place hand sinks at certain areas throughout your facility, whether it be the front of the house or the back of the house. Hand sinks are very critical tools. Prep tables, right? This sink down here, this is a double bay sink. This is what we utilize for prep. Does everybody understand that? So when you're doing your prep area on your facility layout design, do not make Chef Suzanne upset by using the triple sink. Use the double sink, because that's a prep sink. That's what we work with food. This is where we wash dishes. Very important. Storage racks. You cannot use solid shelf racks in the restaurant industry. They have to be perforated shelving units that allow everything to breathe. How am I doing so far, Chef Suzanne? Did I forget anything?
Nope, you are rocking it.
Rocking it? I'm on a roll.
Yep,
I'm on a roll. Yeah. All right. So we have our flat top here. Flat tops are pretty common in restaurants. Some places will do proteins on there, like fish or chicken or beef. A lot of places use these for breakfast purposes, whether it be pancakes or French toast or whatever the case may be. Very common piece of equipment. This back here is called a tilt skillet. These get to be very large. There's a handle that you turn that tilts it up, and you can cook 50 gallons of soup in there at a time if you like, or scrambled eggs, or if you're doing a big banquet, you can make stocks, the whole 9 yards. This is a little broiler down here. It looks like a 24-inch unit. That's where we'll grill things. And then this is what is called a steam kettle. Steam kettles are pretty popular, especially in larger restaurants. This bulging area around the side of the kettle fills up with steam, which allows you to create a nice soup, small stock, cooked pasta, whatever the case is. We use them for a multitude of different things for larger prep items. They're generally about 5 gallons in size. Once again, refrigeration. This is a 3-door reach-in, right, with a pizza prep table on the top. This is a great double-door reach-in. And this unit right here is called a steam table. Some people call it a bain-marie, but I like to call it a steam table. You fill these wells up with about 2 or 3 inches of water, turn the dials on down here on the bottom, and then if you're doing a dish-out style of restaurant, such as Mexican food, where you have your food prepared in the back, it goes up to the line, you get an order for enchiladas, you scoop it out, you put it on the plate, and you serve it. Floors in the kitchen are big business, right? Okay, we work with a lot of moisture in the kitchen, a lot of oils, a lot of fats, everything else. Slips are very, very common. So you want to make sure that you have a Corian floor or a non-slip surface. This floor here is covered with rubber mats. We stand for a lot of hours. These rubber mats are slip and grease proof. So they make our dogs feel a lot more comfortable. So we need to make sure that you have something of that nature in the kitchen. A lot of restaurants now are doing high density vehicular paint on their floors because it provides a small cushion. They're grease proof, they can be beat up, and they last forever. So, did I forget anything there, Chef Suzanne?
I do not believe so. You covered hot equipment, refrigeration, prep, cleaning. So I think you
all that good stuff.
Definitely put them in the right direction for this assignment for sure.
All right. What about? Oh, did we talk about footsteps? You know, I like talking about footsteps.
Yeah, you do. I have heard you talk about footsteps. I don't know if it was this week you were a footstep talker, but I guess you can kind of keep the ball rolling this.
Not too late though, is it?
No, never.
Yeah. How many of you guys out there think about footsteps? Couple of you do, huh? Well, check it out. Footsteps in the restaurant industry are a huge business, especially when it comes to facility layout and design. Check this out. Every time I pay you, every time you take a step, I have to pay you, right? And culinarians, it's very common that we'll take 15 to 20,000 footsteps in a day. The average chef walks about 5 miles a day in the kitchen, right? That's back and forth, left and right. Not only does it take a wear and tear and toll on your culinary staff, but it's also expensive to have to pay people to walk back and forth all day long. As you are designing your kitchens, it is critical that you design it so you prevent too many footsteps. Does everybody understand that? Because it becomes quite challenging over time. Robert, what's your question there, buddy?
Well, it's not a question, but it's more like the triangle method. That way you're not making that many steps.
And the triangle method B?
Point A to point B to point C, all in one simple little, like, 3-foot area.
Theoretically, that's a beautiful thing.
Up and down the line to take care of multiple things.
That's right. So we need to put a lot of thought process into the layout of and the design of our facility. Because if I don't do it properly, I'm going to be paying my people to walk around a lot. And that's a waste of money when I could have them doing production and selling items to generate profit. So it's something that we have to pay attention to. Ladies and gents, let's move on to this week's assignment. To take a look at what we're going to do. You are going to be taking your menu from 185. Is that correct?
Yep, CE 185. I'm ready for this. This is my jam, Chef. I'm ready for this. I love the assignment part.
You want to jam it out?
You can start.
Go,
I'll just
girl.
jump in.
Huh?
I'll just jump in. You go ahead and pull it up.
All right. You knock me out of the way when you're ready, man.
I will.
Because I've been talking. I've been talking a lot. Yeah.
Super interesting stuff. So I'm good. We're good.
I need to outsource my talking. I'm going to pre-record this. Yeah. At any rate, you're going to go to the class page, and I showed you where the facility layout tool is, correct? Does everybody remember that? Yeah? I'll show you one more time just to make sure that we're all on the same page here. Make sure we're all copacetic, so to speak. This week's assignment right here, you click on Facility Layout Tool. When you open that up, you hit Make a Copy, right? And when you make the copy, make sure you put your name as the title. Does that make sense? So when Chef Suzanne's looking at it, she knows that it's yours. Let me get over to our actual assignment here. So you are going to start by working on slide number 1 this week. And you're going to take your menu from 185 and you are going to, am I there? Or am I on the wrong side?
Yeah,
oh,
you were there. You were there.
Okay. I got to get myself, I'm a bit,
Is it slide 1 or is it slide 2? I can't remember.
I think it's slide 1.
Okay, yeah, slide 2 is other information on it.
Right,
so
right.
Kind of out of order.
Yeah, it kind of got rocked around a little bit. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But let's start on slide 2 since Chef Suzanne brought that up. Slide 2 is going to give you a lot of instructions for the remainder of the course, okay? So certainly feel free to take a look at it. We're gonna cover each one of these instructions during the live session over the next couple of weeks so everybody knows, but this information is here for your knowledge as a reference tool for the next couple of weeks. So starting on slide 1, you're gonna ignore these workflow labels for the first period of this class. We'll get back to those at a later time. But you're going to insert the link to your menu from 185 right here. This way Chef Suzanne has access to it so she can take a look at what is going on. You're going to insert your menu items here in the left column. Okay? So you'll put, you know, Caesar salad or whatever the case is. The components, that is asking what are the ingredients, right? So for Caesar salad, I have romaine lettuce, right? I have Caesar dressing. Then I have croutons, Parmesan, and then whatever else you put in there. So those are the components that I'm working with. The station for the Caesar salad would come from where? Hot side? It'll come from the garde manger station. Right, it's going to come from the prep station or the pantry station. You can do pantry, or you can do you know, garde manger, depending on how you're feeling. And then the equipment that's going to be required for this. You have to think this through. With facility, layout, and design, you have to actually go through an exercise similar to this, because of the fact you cannot build your restaurant and then all of a sudden go, man, I should have had a reach-in refrigerator to keep my lettuce cool, right? And then all of a sudden you're talking huge money to get that rectified. So for a Caesar salad, we're going to require a reach-in refrigerator, right? You could go as far as having a plate chiller, which is a unit that keeps your plates nice and cool. And then, you know, you probably need stainless steel bowls, or you don't need to list the small.
Right, yeah, don't need the small wares.
Yeah, you just need large equipment. What's that?
I was going to say, when it comes to let's say your chef's got the Caesar salad here, and let's say it also maybe comes with a fresh breadstick on the side. That may not come out of the pantry garde manger station. That may come out of maybe a prep station or a baking station. And so you would want to include that too, especially if items come from different places, you would want them nearby, right? So when you go to set up your kitchen later on, you would see that, oh, okay, we've got a lot of different dishes coming from garde manger and from sauté. So you'd want to have those dishes close together, kind of like I believe Robert was just talking about, being able to pivot and not have to go really far. If every time you want to put, say, a piece of grilled chicken on that Caesar salad, if somebody's got to run clear across the kitchen to get chicken from the grill, that's probably not the most efficient. And so that's why you want to make sure that you list all of your components for that dish. Don't forget anything, even if it seems kind of insignificant. If it's a breadstick or dressing, you want to make sure that you include those too, so that you include the station and then all the equipment. So you want to just think about you created these menus in CE 185, so no one knows those menus better than you. And so that's what you want to make sure is that you have all of those.
That's excellent advice, and that's well said. So make sure that you think it through thoroughly and that you have a good comprehension of what you're working on. There are certain instances that Chef Suzanne will pick up that will be acceptable. For example, if there is a condiment that's required, let's say you're doing fish and chips and you list lemon wedge on the plate, those lemons may be kept at your expo station that your expediter will put onto the plate before it goes out. So there are some small variances that are understood, but make sure that you are very, very thorough as far as listing out all of your things. If we do a hot...
Somebody just asked if there was an example, and there is an example of this filled out station map and equipment list right there on the class page. And it shows exactly like we just talked about, making sure that you have the menu item and then have all of the different components, the station or stations that will prepare it. And then also all of when you're looking at your equipment, you're looking at cooking or hot equipment, and then you're looking at your refrigeration, and then any special prep equipment that you would need to have. You don't need to put things smallwares. You don't need pots and pans and bowls and spoons and ladles and anything like that. Basically, if it takes up a big area of the floor or a big area on a counter or a tabletop, right? So if you're going to have maybe an ice cream machine, it may not necessarily be huge. It may sit on a table, but that's still a piece of equipment. So you're looking at all the large equipment. So this is a really helpful part of the assignment right here, is this example.
Absolutely. And that is available on your class page as a reference tool right under here, station map example, which will help you out, not up. What other kind of questions? This Bill, what's going on? Bill, did you get your question answered? Yeah?
Yeah. I was going to ask about if we had to list, the special knives or anything, but she got that, so I'm good.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, you don't need the small words. What about Justin? What's going on, Justin?
Do we have to use our entire menu, or do we just selected items?
Chef Suzanne, how many items are they required to list for this?
Well, good news that you asked that question, because if you actually look at the assignment says you need to do all of your menu items, but you really only need to do 5. When you choose those 5, make sure they are from different parts of your kitchen. Don't just pick 5 salads, right? So the idea is that you still have to design your whole kitchen, and so it makes it easier for you in the long run if you choose maybe, one appetizer and then something out of maybe your grill station. So you want to have like a nice variety of menu items, but you're actually only required to do 5.
Well, I have one more quick question, if possible. I want to do a food truck, so would I just do the food truck portion on the slides then?
No, there is we're going to get into the food truck scene here within the next couple of weeks. I forget exactly which week it is. But there is slides just for food trucks. So yeah, absolutely.
Right. Okay.
This part of the assignment will be the same no matter what. This particular week's assignment will be the same no matter what type of business you're going to have, whether it's catering, whether it's going to be a restaurant, a food truck. This week will be the same for everybody.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yep. Let's see. Tonya, where are you? Are you there? Tonya?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Tonya. Okay. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So my question is, I don't have 5 different things for mine. Mine are dessert kebabs and then salads. I've got 3.
Uh-huh.
So how would do I just
Well, that's fine. You just want to try and pick a variety so that you've got kind of a variety of equipment that you'll have.
Okay. Perfect.
Cool. All right, let's get a couple more questions here before we wrap it up. What about the Sparkling Chef?
Aloha.
Hi.
Hi. What is that equipment? What do you call the equipment that holds a cold storage with all your cold food on the top in the pantry section, and then you have drawers that are refrigerated? Is it considered a low boy too?
Well,
3 drawers with refrigeration, and then you have underneath is refrigerated, and on the top has a cover and it's refrigerated.
Yeah, classically that's referred to as a pizza prep table.
I think for this assignment, for down lower, I think it calls it the salad cooler in the slides.
Salad cooler?
I think that's what it calls it down when they actually go to place it, Chef. I think that's what they call it. It may be pizza prep, but I think it's actually salad prep it calls it.
Because like at my work, that's what we have. We have like all the mise en place, all the salad dressings, the onions, everything.
They're wonderful. That's like the best piece of equipment in the kitchen.
Well, I work for Roy Yamaguchi, so his kitchens are awesome. And so on the bottom, it's refrigeration for the cold plates. And every station has a sink next to it. I like his layout, so I'm going to copy his layout. It's really cool.
I met Roy when he was a little guy, man, back in 1989.
Yeah, well, he started in the 80s, yeah? He's from Maui. His family's from Maui. His grandfather.
He's done all right, I'd say.
Oh, yeah, he's doing excellent. Yeah.
He's awesome. All right.
But it's called a salad refrigerator. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
You'll have to look at the, I'm trying to check it right now, so I'll let you know here just 1 second as soon as I find it, what it says, what it actually calls it. You can call it that. I'll know what you mean.
Okay.
If you wanna, but I'm going to actually look and see what it says on the assignment, what it calls it.
Okay, thanks.
Cool. Thank you. Robert, what's your question there, buddy?
Before my leave of absence, I was in this class. And we were only required to do 4 of our menu. So now you have 4. So I'm going to have to resubmit.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll have
Okay,
to
I
resubmit anyway.
just got to add one more from my menu.
Cool. All right. That answers your question there, Robert?
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. Thanks, Robert.
Yep.
Rebecca. What's up, Rebecca? Rebecca.
I'm here. Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Hello, Chef.
Hi.
I think I misunderstood something. Chef Suzanne was talking about the food truck with someone, and I thought I heard that the truck is going to be later. Does that mean I need to do a commercial kitchen?
No, you need to you need to follow the assignment this week as listed, because that is applicable to a food truck as well. But later on in the course, I'm not sure if it's week 4 or 5 when we're working on the actual layout of the culinary facility, there is a diagram to work with the food truck as well. So it's in there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I did find that piece of equipment. The assignment calls it, I lost it already. Hang on, I gotta scroll over. The assignment, the facility layout tool calls it the salad sandwich pizza prep table. So that's nice and wordy.
Salad sandwich pizza prep table.
Salad sandwich pizza prep table.
We've always just called it, prep table or whatever the case is. So
yeah.
All right, let's ask Timothy. What's going on there, Timothy?
Hey, Chef. So if you recall, I don't know if you or Chef Matthew remembers what my idea was with my menu. It's a revolving menu with different cultures.
Uh-huh.
All right, so do I need to stick with just the single menu that I have, or some of the same food options that I'm going to have? Because my equipment would change. It wouldn't be all the same equipment for that's on this menu.
So this is what I recommend in this situation. You have to have 5 menu items, right?
Uh-huh.
And once if you ever build your own place, you're not going to want to be revolving equipment because it's.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be revolving the equipment. I would just have the equipment set for the revolved menu, but what's on my menu would only require a couple of pieces of equipment.
Okay, so you're going to want to stick. You're going to want to start with these 5 menu items, like Chef Suzanne mentioned. Make sure they are varied items. You don't want 5 salad items, or you don't want 5 dessert items, but 5 varied items from different stations. And then just stick with those items throughout the remainder of the course. This way you get the concept of exactly the way this operates. And then once you get a little bit more familiar with everything, then you'll be able to start moving things around and rotating them, I think.
All right, Chef, thanks.
All right, you're welcome. Derek. What's up, Derek?
Hi, are you there?
Yes, we are.
Okay. I think my question's been answered, but I'm gonna make sure.
Okay.
The layout of the kitchen, like what is done where and on what station, is that listed? That's the what, I forgot what she was calling them. I'm sorry. Is that listed somewhere? Where's that listed?
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post that PowerPoint onto the class that we just covered all the basic stations as far as pantry, prep, and all that other stuff. And then that also has all the equipment listed in it. And then up at the top of the class page under the research materials, you're going to find all of the equipment listed in there as well that we've spoken about. So when you're going through this assignment, it's going to identify the equipment that you need.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I was wondering. Okay, great. I appreciate your help. Thank you.
Okay. Did everybody else get your questions answered out there? I see Sparkling Chef Robert still have your hands up. Do you guys have additional questions? No, good, cool. And Derek, okay, cool. Let's go over the assignment submission form here real quick. Are we there, everybody? Are we on the right page, Chef Suzanne?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, cool. Before you submit your assignment this week, make sure that you go and you cross-reference everything to make sure that it is done properly. You need to make sure you put the link from your menu from CE 185 into that facility layout tool, right where we showed you. And then you're going to fill in the table for each menu item. You're going to list out the component, the station, and the equipment that is needed. Make sure you're thorough about this. And then when you submit your assignment, it is critical that you include a 1 to 2 sentence summary of your food business concept in online text. Make sure that is included. That is actually a part of your grade. 10% of your grade is for that 1 to 2 sentence summary. So make sure that gets taken care of.
There are, Chef, let me jump in real quick. There are examples of that also. Basically, when you're going to just create a 1 to 2 sentence summary about your business. So if you just kind of had like a quick, 5 seconds to explain to somebody what your business is. So I might say that I am going to have an Italian restaurant that is fine dining, and that I'm going to have seating for 100 people. Just really quick information. And there are some great examples on the left-hand side, which I do actually like the new box stuff on the left-hand side.
Yeah, it's nice.
There is examples on on creating your concept summary. And then you need to attach it somewhere in your assignment every single week. It is part of your grade to have this concept summary and every single week. So you can put it in your assignment page. You can put it in you can put a new a file in there with just a Word document that's got it in there, and just make sure you throw it in every week. Because every week I'm going to grade it, and if it's not there, you lose points. All right, so just throw that in.
Simple, simple, simple. Like we talked about at the beginning of the class, before you submit your assignment, look at your assignment, look at what's required, check it off, and then send it to Chef Suzanne. It'll make life a lot easier for yourself in the long run. Vince, what is your question there, buddy? Hello, Vince.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
There we go. Hey, I just want to clarify this on the assignment. I already have a restaurant menu, all that stuff, and that's what I had used for the menu planning class. So I have soup, salads, and sandwiches, plus just super nachos on my menu. But the sandwiches range from cold to hot sandwiches, and then the salads have different types of hot and cold items on them also. So can I just do like a cold sandwich, hot sandwich, same with the salads, and then my super nachos for my 5?
Absolutely, no problem. Because you're separating stations, and I think that's primarily what we're looking for. Chef Suzanne does not want to see 5 items coming off the pantry station. You've segregated everything out, so that's perfectly fine.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good night, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you. Robert, what's your question, buddy?
Yeah, it's actually for Chef Lasagna. For each assignment, you want our concept included in each submission, right?
A 1 to 2 sentence summary of your concept.
Yes.
Okay, I already have that. It's just I wanted to make sure that you wanted it each time that we.
Yes, it's actually listed in the rubric every week. So just make sure that you have it, and you can put it on your assignment submission page as a separate link. You can create another slide for it. Some people just create another slide and just throw it in there, and boom, it's there every week. It doesn't go anywhere. So that works too.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Good. Thanks, Robert. Elaine, what's your question?
The chat boat is asking if you would go over the discussion form.
Sure. We can cover that one more time.
Thank you.
Okay, let me pull it up here. Through the modern miracles of technology, we're able to look at this one more time. So the discussion forum is the same as it is in the other classes. You need to have your initial post in by Saturday, and you must reply to 2 other persons' post no later than Tuesday. And the way this works is you are going to be sharing restaurant designs that inspire you. So you're going to go onto Google or to whatever search engine you use, and you're going to take a look at some restaurant designs that you think are appropriate, and you're either going to create a link and put that into the discussion forum, or preferably cut and paste those pictures into the discussion forum. Does that answer your question? Elaine? You're muted there, Elaine. Huh?
Yeah, it.
Uh-huh. Okay. Here's one submission by Jarvis Phillips, which I think is absolutely fantastic. He's got a great picture. It kind of tells us like the feel and the mood of the restaurant. Then he wrote a quick snidlet right here about the information. So that is perfect right there. And that is what is required for the discussion forum. Sparkling Chef. Did you have another question?
So the layout is just only of the front of the house, yeah? You want pictures, the front of the house,
Yep.
not the back.
No, you don't have to do the back.
The back is just basically what we're doing for our food and our menu.
Yeah, we're going to get to the back quite a bit here within the next couple of weeks, but we're just starting out with just a type of restaurant that inspires you.
Okay, thank you.
Sound good?
I'm going to just jump in with one more thing real quick, Chef, because I don't know that we hit on it. When it comes to the station names, when you're going to do your assignment this week and it's asking for the station that'll be producing it, some people prefer to use the more traditional brigade names, and some want to do things that are more traditional, whichever you want. If you want to call something the pantry station, that's entirely up to you. If you prefer to use garde manger, that's fine too. So it's either one is right. You know, there's no, you know, as long as the station is actually going to be preparing that's fine. You know, so you don't have, we're not going to make sure that you have to use a traditional brigade system names. You know, if you want to call it the fry station, that's okay.
Yep. Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for a fantastic week 1 live session. Like I mentioned, Chef Suzanne and I are so excited to be working with all of you. We look forward to speaking with you on a regular basis. Make sure that you communicate. Make sure that you get your discussion forum in by Saturday, 2 replies no later than Tuesday, and get your assignment in early. And do not miss any assignments because each assignment builds upon one another in this course. So once again, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and have a fantastic night. Great to see you all.